Welcome back to the Wallace branch, to episode 28. Almost certainly the last episode of this operation playthrough, and we are following just exactly where we left off, at just after 1 p.m. in the afternoon on day 4. And this is one of the two NP locals, I'm calling them. This is the regular local, but actually these were the helpers on the way over on the other direction. And we're just heading back with some empty boxcars for loading in Silverton. And right behind us, we have another one. Well, not right behind us, but a few miles behind us, we have another string of cars, some of which are going to be dropped off at Morning Mine, and then they'll be also going to Silverton. So I'm going to advance time. You'll see a little snippets, and then we'll see you on the other side.
Detector milepost 111.0. No defects.
All right, here we are with our first delivery arriving at the Morning Mine. Now, I do seem to remember these F units do stop extremely slowly. They have a lot more power than this would imply. I don't quite understand why their engine spec is so bulky. It's not the reason why I don't use them, but it is annoying to me. Look at that animated Mars light. Very cool. Given how slowly it slows down, I'm going to take it nice and easy. All right, let's check out and see where the other train is. By sheer coincidence, the other train is just passing the Wallace depot. Okay, advancing time a little bit more. Now it is 2:15 in the afternoon as we're approaching Saltis, our next destination, to pick up 4 boxcars of bottles. And I'm going to take over just to make sure we pull in at a little bit faster than the speed limit would allow. All right, I think this loads 4. All right, surprisingly, this has already unloaded these 3 cars. I would have had to advance time just so that we're not waiting for just nothing to happen on screen. But in fact, it had already unloaded, so ready to pull back, do this part. And now I, of course, will have to advance time in order to make sure that we have some activity over there in Silverton. So I'll see you over there. All right, 10 minutes have passed, and we are ready to send this train back to Wallace. We'll do a runaround train, of course, there. So let's go to Wallace NP track 1, and we'll do a runaround. And we'll see you back in the morning area. All right, time to direct this train into Wallace. We'll say Wallace, maybe we do UP track 1? I'm sort of forgetting what's clear now. And then we'll navigate to Silverton Bottles as well. Now I'm debating what to do here, and I think to save time, the best thing to do would be to take this train back over the mountain with the remaining cars. All right, to facilitate matters, I'm going to put the caboose in the rear. And I see I never closed the door on this roundhouse. Oops, that's not it. Although I still am showing you every move that I make. I'm committed to showing that through this series, even though now I'm shortening some of the transiting across through the map. I hope that's working out okay. And it is now 15-3, so yeah, we have advanced time fast enough that I'm now starting to worry about time a little bit. Not too worried, but a little worried. All right, I changed my mind. We're going to send this train complete onto Mullen. As it turned out, during all that switching time, we were just making our way into the Silverton bottles here for our last pickup here. A total of 24 cars picked up at the Silverton bottles, of which 15 left the map last episode, and then these 9 are going over to Haugen. And so this pickup will be marking another task as complete. I'd say that looks pretty good for loading all of these boxcars. And you may be wondering why I didn't do a runaround train here before when we were with the GP9s. I just didn't think of it. You can see some loading has begun. 3 cars have begun loading. 2 cars have not yet begun loading. I should have decoupled the caboose while I was still coupled together. It's somewhat annoying that they're not allowed to decouple when they're just sitting there as a consist, and I hate to even bump them while they're in the loading process. Ah, yes, these are very slow stopping locomotives. I'm going to check in on where our GP9s have gotten. Not very far, actually. Just leaving Wallace. Not stuck, though. Ah, it has started moving again. Stopped for a train. Started moving again. Stopped for a train. Player controlled. I don't know what that's talking about. Easy does it. I probably have never coupled more gently than I just did. Now, almost all of the MI2s I have to have set them at 10-minute loading times. And yes, I'm going to assume that all 5 of those are loaded when we reach that 10-minute mark, even though it looks like the track is not set to load the last one. All right, I'm going to advance time, a couple minutes, and then we're going to be off. Check on our NP train. Okay, looks like our NP train is making progress towards Mullen. Not quite there yet. I thought that I would be able to close the boxcar door, but seems not. Okay, that should take us up to Lookout, and then we'll go through Saltis. We don't need to stop. And then we will go to Haugen. And we'll navigate to the Haugen Brewery Goods. And with that, incidentally, this task is complete. We've picked up all these bottles, and all of them are going to the same place, so that destination is on the map. And when we pick up goods that are going onto the map, then we mark it as done now, whereas when it's leaving the map, we mark it as done when it's actually set to leave the map through a portal. All right, I only advanced time by like less than a minute, maybe a minute or so. And now this train has arrived in Mullen, and all we need to do is pick up those 2 boxcars. And I see there's a slight challenge, which is the switch engine is still attached. And we're not taking that one with us, so... It's sort of like a little race, and it's like the GP9s are actually winning that race, which is quite surprising. And I'm not saying that either of these engines has the accurate engine spec, by the way. Yes, I do let things get a little bit out of hand when I am operating 2 locomotives, I know it. Gates came up, gates went down again. It's going to be tough to remember that that switch engine is sitting there. What I should have done there is pulled all the cars up, including the caboose, decoupled, and moved the SW at 1200 off to the side. But I didn't. There's the Morning Club building. So splitting up the trains obviously takes a little bit more time on screen this way, but on the other hand, it has a couple of advantages. First of all, the loading platform in Haugen probably is about right for 4 or 5 cars. And then by arriving with 2 different trains, we'll be loading those 2 trains sequentially and not having to do that backing up move or pulling forward move, which can be a little tiresome. And secondly, by bringing this train in earlier, we get this task of taking these 2 general goods cars away from Mullen and off the map done earlier. Okay, we're going to program this train to go to Lookout Pass and then to Haugen. And I'm just going to briefly go back and make sure that the other train that's coming behind us goes through the same track that we're on instead of following the Mullen track. But I'll meet you on the other side. Now, as we continue to follow our train over the pass, I'm reminded that we didn't finish one of our tasks, which is still outstanding here, and that is the pipe loading here in Saltis. No problem. We still have time. Actually, we have plenty of time because this train is passing now. There's another train coming over the pass behind it, and we just need to load. We need to do 2 more loading events here, and we need to do 2 more loading events in Haugen. So then this train will be heading off the map, and we'll be good to go. All right, it's actually the last 4 boxcars that need to get loaded here, so we'll just make sure. It's interesting. Off and on, these tracks do bug out, so I did put these on an instant load track, so then all 4 of these just loaded, which I did not expect that, by the way. So yeah, I'm still going to keep to the 10-minute rule, though. And actually, by the way, 10 minutes have passed, so that means that back in Saltis, all of those loading events should have taken place. And yes, now it is 4 o'clock, and this is my least favorite time to be playing on the route, other than the actual nighttime, which I never play. And now I'll check in on our train coming down from Lookout, and we'll see this train again in 10 minutes. All right, let's assemble this train, and then we'll connect it to the train that's coming over Lookout now. .5% grade here. That's not nothing, especially when you're a single RS3. Yeah, I'm just using this turntable track to store myself temporarily. Not even necessary to go onto the turntable, I don't think. Okay, when I said I was starting to get worried about time, if we have an absolute union rule that we cut things off at 4:30, it looks like we're going to violate that rule. You see what I mean about the engineers sitting in that engine in the middle. Doesn't look that great. Alright, this is our last coupling event of this playthrough. I experimented with particle effects for the stream, the rushing brook behind us, and I mean, it's only really visible at certain times of day in the first place, and then because the smoke particles only go in kind of a straight direction, it's not perfect anyway. I do wish that there were an alternative, but that's what we got. Continue schedule. Okay, Roger Moore, you are going to get off the train. I think you've been on the train this whole time. You haven't left the scene of the action. So Waza. Waza, you're going to get on, and you are going to drive to the NP portal. And that is not the way to the NP portal, sir. So I'm going to assume that there's a switch thrown, and I'm going to check that. But it's a straight shot, so once I check it, I'm just going to let him go, and then that will be it.
Detector milepost 96.0.
And yes, I have spotted exactly what it is. We do have a caboose there. So let's do a little bit of foolery here. Let's stop the train. Apply the handbrake and decouple. And we're going to just move that over to the
Detector milepost
Milwaukee side.
6.0. No defects. Total axles 7. Train speed 2.
There is a hotbox detector right after Saltis. And the reason I have it there is because when trains are coming onto the map, I want to be notified when they've arrived at Saltis. Yeah, I don't blame the autopilot for not being able to handle this type of move. And I'm glad that it's a lightweight car that's stuck in there and not a long, heavy train that's blocking our path. Makes it a lot easier to do what we're doing right now. And it would in reality as well. I have often thought, you know, the Haugen needs to have a couple cabooses sitting around. Now I have one. It was in the wrong place, and now it's in the right place, which is more than we can say for the cabooses in Wallace. I do love passing through Haugen because I love to admire the Milwaukee switch stands created by Toomey. Toomey also created his own bay window caboose, but I created a different one, and I do still like mine better, even though I have to admit it's not the greatest. Four minutes to 4:30. 4 minutes to quitting time. I believe that this train could make it to Borgia in 4 minutes, by the way. Although, making it to Borgia in 4 minutes, if I randomly stop for no reason, that's not a good plan. Now let's see about going to that portal, huh? I bet we can do it. And indeed we can do it. So this marks another task as done because these are general good cars that are leaving the map now. And of course I will advance time briefly here. Now we would have arrived here sooner, but I had it on autopilot, and oddly enough, autopilot not only was not following the speed limit, in other words, not driving fast enough, but the autopilot actually had a SPAD while coming into this location here, so then it stopped. And I think they have like a 1 minute cooldown time when there's a SPAD, so that's what happened. But now we are here to complete our last task, and I am taking it easy, maybe a little bit too easy. Just unloading 5 cars here, and can 5 cars fit at the platform? I'm going to say yes. It is 4:37, 7 minutes past quitting time. And so actually what's going to happen here is that everybody is so motivated that they just unload those cars instantly. But at this point, what's the difference between us artificially waiting for 10 or 20 minutes? Doesn't add much to the enjoyment of the process. Very good. All right, that is the last boxcar unloaded, the last delivery on the route, another task completed, and then when we put this on autopilot to NP Portal, which we are doing right now, that is the end of this playthrough. Okay, that is the end of this playthrough. So why don't we just end it by following this interesting looking consist, beautiful consist in my opinion, as we're leaving Haugen. So once again, I'll repeat what I said earlier, which is I would really appreciate any feedback you've had about this series. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, even though at the end, of course, as we're filling out those last few tasks, it does tend to kind of boil down to a few things that we've seen coming for quite a long time. Even with the random new tasks that we have to perform, there is a little bit of sort of, we know how the plot is going to end part as we get towards this part of the playthrough. But I still had fun, and I'm definitely going to mix it up next time I do a playthrough. That won't be for quite some time. I'd say maybe next year, 2026 sometime, I might do another playthrough. I might do this route, I might do a different route. PNB obviously is the other one that I have set up like this. And there are other possibilities as well. But yeah, once again, hope you enjoyed it. Usually I sign off by saying I look forward to seeing you again next time on the Wallace branch. But I'd say next time we see each other on the Wallace branch, maybe it'll be your turn, because I suppose that route will be available by the time we see each other again online in any form, Twitch, YouTube, Discord, whatever. So thanks for joining, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Bye-bye.